Hey everyone, hopefully you're having a good day. My name's Andy. My channel's Finding Value. Today we're going to do our daily gold and silver technical analysis update. We'll take a look at the dollar, 10-year, some gold, silver, platinum, and then we'll look at an ETF and some individual companies to give us a good overall picture on the sector. So here we go. I'm going to give you my financial opinion. It's just an opinion. Please don't use it as advice, but we'll dive right in. So this is gold and silver technical analysis. I'm going to start with the dollar and the gold. The dollar strengthened quite a bit today. We are breaking to the upside of a pattern, and I suspect that it was going to last for a little bit. We have gold going down today a little bit, 0.21%, and we've hit down a little bit there. Let's look at the charts, get maybe a little bit longer term picture here. The dollar's moving on up. You can see it breaking out. It ended at 94.40, which is right up here. So it's even breaking out of this little kind of back test zone to move on up higher. Looking at the 10-year is continuing to strengthen. It is looking strong. You can see the breakout, if I can get on there, the breakout there. It's about there. Broke out, back tested, and we're moving on higher on the 10-year treasury yield. And you know, a lot of people say, I can't envision the 10-year going higher. Well, it's going higher. It's going higher. And we'll see if this trend continues. With the resistance line being broken like this, I would suspect that it continues higher. That's my expectations. And if we have inflation and higher yields, it's going to be a huge tailwind for gold and silver. It will rocket higher because bonds are going to sell out and they're going to go into and pile in to gold. Gold is doing all right. If you look at the near-term pattern here, we got big buying pressure up days, and then really the sell-off isn't big, at least not yet. And we'll see what this thing does over the next couple of days. That's what I'm waiting for. We've got this kind of move through here that it broke out above, and we're still above it. So it could go up at any time here if we can get some buyers to mount a run. I think silver's in the same camp. And here's the downtrend that I'm looking at, right about here. And we're right there at that kind of spot where we're going to break out. Now, the sellers haven't come in here and pushed it lower, at least not yet. We'll see what happens tomorrow. And then we've got platinum. Platinum already broke out. Maybe this is our leader. Maybe this is the one that's going to say, you know what, I'm going to buck the trend and get moving. But this one's a clear breakout. Yeah, we did sell off a little bit today, but that's pretty normal. You break out, you kind of do a little bit of a back test, retest, and then we move on higher. Normal, standard operating procedures. And then we've got GDX. This is VanEck Vector's Gold Miners. And yeah, here we go. We've got the downtrend line in here. And we're trying to break it. This last downtrend line, we're trying to break through it. Let's see what happens tomorrow. And it's the same thing for SILJ. We got all these patterns are very similar, and you can see me draw them in. Yeah, it's right there, right where we're trying to break. And the sellers haven't whomped this thing, so we'll see what happens. We'll see. Here's Endeavor Silver. Again, that's very much similar to SILJ. We got Hecla Mining coming on over here. This one doesn't look too bad. It's trying to mount a resistance to the downtrend and move on higher, but I don't know if it's going to be successful. We'll watch it. Newmont, we got a little bit of a rejection, not today, but yesterday. We tried moving higher and it sold back off. It's trying to break out of its downtrend line, which is this guy right here. It's trying, and it mounted a very good, I mean, the footprint here of the bullish engulfings all through here, it looked good to make a run at it. I'd be surprised if this doesn't break to the upside. We also have a pattern here where it's basically a falling wedge pattern, and it should break to the upside. I mean, that's what the pattern would suggest. But I just haven't seen the traction yet in a lot of these companies. Barrick Gold, again, It was mounting a move higher, got a little bit of a sell-off here, it's almost a bearish piercing, but it's not. But it's trying to break through this resistance line and go to the upside. And then we got Franco Nevada. Again, it's thrown a bearish engulfing here. We could head lower here, potentially. Well, we've got Wheaton Precious Metals. That, again, is heading lower. I don't know if this thing's going to mount a comeback and move on up. But it looks like it's coming into some resistance here. And kind of a mixed sector when you look at it. I mean, some of them look good. Looks like they're putting in descending wedge patterns. Other ones, no traction. We're getting like some bearish signals. Usually what happens is you see the footprint, a footprint of the buyers. And I call that bullish engulfings, bullish piercings, hammer patterns, and then you move on up. But here, every time we try to move on up, it hits resistance. And it's a little weird seeing that that resistance fight the buyers so much, especially if you're laying down such a strong footprint in a lot of them. And that footprint is left in the transactions of the buyers and the sellers in this technical analysis. And I'm looking at the candlesticks and what the candlesticks are doing. When you have bullish engulfings, bullish piercings, basically you've got contraction of the candlesticks coming down. It contracts down where the buyers equal the sellers. It puts a footprint like we're going to try to push higher. It pushes higher and then something comes down and smacks it lower. Is it manipulation? I don't know. I don't know if it is or isn't, but the buyers are trying to push it higher every once in a while and they're getting rejected. That's what I see in the charts. But the sellers haven't come in and womped it yet. So it's still a possibility of moving higher. We just have to see the buyers come in. They got to show us that they're there and they got to push this stuff higher. If you guys like this analysis, give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And thank you for listening. This is Finding Value.